My name is Prentice Lee, and I'm the superintendent at what I believe to be the best high school district in the country, Community High School District 128. First this morning, how about a big round of applause for the LHS Group of 6 for their entertainment this morning. So guys, you guys go right ahead and eat, all right? Plenty of food over there. Thank you again. Well, on behalf of all of us, I hope that you have all enjoyed your breakfast. A special thanks to Dr. Marina Scott and the LHS team for hosting the superintendent's breakfast this morning, to the LHS food service for the breakfast, to the LHS security team for their assistance with the ever-important parking, and especially to Carol Scoden, Sandy Cloud, and Mary Todrick for their invaluable assistance in planning this event. How about a round of applause for all of those who made this morning possible? Let me take a moment this morning to recognize several administrators in the district. First of all, Dr. Marina Scott, principal at Libertyville High School. Dr. Ellen Swick, principal at Vernon Hills High School. Okay, we've got Dr. Al Fleming, associate superintendent of the district. Mick Torres, director of technology. And who else have I missed? Did I miss anybody else from district office? And at the building level, Ray Albin, assistant principal for curriculum and instruction, and Brian Kelly, director of athletics at Libertyville High School. So how about a round of applause for them as well? And we also have several special guests this morning who are part of our original trustee group from the D128 Foundation for Learning, and I'd like to give them special recognition this morning. So we're going to ask you to stand and just remain standing, then we'll give you all a round of applause. First of all, former board member and District 128 Superintendent Emeritus, Dave Clough. Dave, would you stand? Buzz Perry is our former Director of Community Education and Grants. Judy Sugarman, former teacher, administrator, and board member and board officer, the Board of Education. And Judy Nurnberger, who's also been involved with the foundation and many things at Vernon Hills High School with the fine arts over the years. So we're glad they were able to join us. Well, this morning I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives to be with us today. The District 128 Superintendent's Breakfast has become a very special annual event that recognizes the thoughtfulness and generous contributions that stakeholders like you have made to the District 128 Foundation for Learning. Your contributions continue to support the enrichment and enhancement of student learning through teaching that is above and beyond the norm. A primary objective under our third district strategic planning goal, which is to maintain the financial stability of the district, a vibrant foundation working with our school board, administrators, and most importantly, our teachers to provide cutting-edge teaching and learning opportunities for our students is among our highest priorities in District 128. As you will learn this morning, past and present Foundation board members and donors have made substantial contributions to taking our students' educational experience to the next level, and that is truly exciting. From the original Foundation design team to the former and current Foundation Board of Trustees, to individual, family, and corporate donors, so many have played a critical role in creating and funding programs and projects that continue to enrich and enhance the learning opportunities for students at LHS and at VHHS. With that said, a special thank you to all of our donors and to our Foundation trustees. You are greatly appreciated, and you have made a difference in the lives of our students. So please join me now in recognizing and receiving the President, Executive Director of our Foundation, Ann Landgraf.
Excuse me. Thank you, Prentice. Well, this is a day of thank yous, so thank you to Prentice for all your support that you've given the Foundation and for hosting this breakfast, because it's very nice for us to recognize everyone. I would also like to take this occasion from the Foundation Board to thank Carol Scoden and Mary Todrick for their hard work in arranging this lovely event. I would also like to do some introductions. We have some current board members present today. We have our treasurer, Tom Stannis. Please stand. Board members Lisa Skeen, and also Secretary of the Board, and Board member Martha Watt. So good morning, and my thank you too to all of you for being here. And most importantly, thank you for your continued generous support of the District 128 Foundation for Learning. Your contributions have allowed us to continue to promote our mission of providing those innovative and creative learning opportunities in our schools. This is our 4th annual Superintendent's Breakfast, and I am so proud to announce that we have now funded over $69,000 in programs for our students since our inception. And in addition, this year, we have attained the $100,000 mark in our endowment fund, whose return on investment will help us finance even more educational opportunities in the future. As Prentice has mentioned, the foundation was established on the principle that we can never do enough for our students to prepare them for their future. Your partnership with the foundation permits us to have an impact on the lives of our students in a variety of ways. We have been able to fund programs across the curriculum and, very importantly, in technology, which we all know is growing at an expansive rate. We will be hearing from 2 teachers this morning who will tell us of the effect their grant money from the foundation has made in their classrooms. We thank you so much for your involvement in furthering the education of our students of Libertyville and Vernon Hills High Schools. There are many more ways that we are exploring to enrich the learning process and provide even new and more opportunities for the kids. So I hope you will continue to support these efforts in 2012. What an exciting year it has been for the foundation. We are not a very old organization. This is only our 5th year. And the first year, only the trustees contributed to providing innovation grants. We followed that up with asking staff members and retirees of the district and other community members to join us in participating in these grants. The following year, we've asked parents, and now we're asking businesses and corporations. It's just been an explosive time for us as a foundation. We are growing and becoming more visible to the community at large. And we hosted our very first foundation event with the dual purpose of fundraising and providing public awareness about our organization. The first annual Lace Up for Learning 5K run was held Memorial Day weekend. It was attended by over 300 runners, walkers, and volunteers at the Old School Forest Preserve. And I'm happy to announce that we'll be having a 2nd annual event this coming Memorial Day weekend, and more on that later. But I do want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for their participation in this first ever event, as well as thank board member Jason Newman, who was the chair of the run, Antoinette Simonian, who was the run organizer, and our district public relations director, Mary Toderick, for making this experience so successful. We are now in process to introduce our first ever social event for the foundation in November, and we'll get more information on that later in the program as well. As we grow, we hope you will consider becoming a more involved partner in the foundation. We are looking for new trustees as well as volunteers to help us plan and staff our events. If you may be interested, please see one of the trustees or talk to Carol Scoden. Again, I wish to sincerely thank you for making our vision of being able to enhance the learning environment of District 128 a reality and touching the lives of students. Thank you very much. And now on foundation accomplishments, trustee Lisa Skeens.
Thank you, Anne. It's my pleasure to be here this morning representing the Foundation for Learning Innovation Grants Committee. The Foundation Innovative Grants are awarded to provide resources for innovative and creative instructional ideas and programs. These programs include unique student learning experiences and opportunities and ensure that we are providing the very best quality education possible for our students here in District 128. This year, the Foundation funded more programs with more dollars than ever before. There were 10 grant project winners in 2012 that were awarded to a total of 16 teachers at both high schools. Many of the awards this year are taking advantage of innovative ways to apply technology in the classroom. Apple iPads have really revolutionized the way that we are interacting in our daily lives. And now they are revolutionizing the way that we are teaching and learning in the classroom. iPads and applications, or apps as they are probably better known, are being funded for multiple innovative teaching ideas, and including using collaborative tools on Google Earth and other geography apps for application in social studies, and teaching students reading, writing, listening, and speaking Chinese. It's a very difficult language, and for someone who's traveling to China next week, which I am, an advantage to be able to speak and to read Chinese in today's society. Another grant funds the Dossary iPad app and desktop software that will allow teachers to take learning to the next level in the classroom with advanced presentations and engaging lessons that can be annotated with notes real time and then played back at any time for future learning. iPads will also be provided or have been provided to special needs students. The iPads will allow these students who have cognitive disabilities to more fully engage with the curriculum, improving productivity and academic performance in math, reading, writing, and acquisition of life skills such as time and money. This grant is already making a difference in the learning experience of these students. iPad and apps for chemistry will allow students to create 3D molecular drawings and access the NMR database and other research resources. And as a chemist, I can fully appreciate how that could be very helpful in your learning in areas such as chemistry. Other scientific grants awarded this year include hands-on learning, including the extrusion of bioplastic polymers and making different kinds of glass, including colored glass using different transition metals. Enhancing creativity in the classroom, another grant award will purchase flip cameras that are compatible with school computers, allowing students to create video assignments, including a Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet project that is planned for this spring. Writers Week 2012 is a 4-day event that motivates students to take pride and care in writing. Local and national authors discuss what they do, what they've learned, and why they love writing. The grant award supporting this program for 2012 will bring famous authors to visit the school and speak to students about writing, inspiring them to achieve success and become better writers themselves. The Foundation congratulates the 2012 grant winners, and we want to thank all the teachers who have participated in the grant process to date. We also encourage development of future creative submissions that will make a difference and enrich the excellent education opportunities for students at both high schools. Now we would like to have presentations by 2 innovation grant winners, one who participated and was a winner in the 2010-2011 year, and also one that was awarded this year in the 2011-2012 process. So first we have Josh Ravenscraft from Vernon Hills High School, and he was awarded for his project on household electricity. So now to really bring these projects to life, I'd like to hand it over to Josh.
I feel bad because my project has no app or wireless, and in fact, you plug it into my project. You plug into the wall. I brought an example of what my the grant money provided for my class. It provided 6 sets of This is just the shell of what was provided. We did and I'll go through this slide in a second. This is basically what's behind everybody's wall in their house. And this was geared towards the AP Physics class for after the AP test. Things to do in about 2.5 weeks between the end of the AP test and the end of school. So I label it's household electricity. And basically what we were trying to do is we teach the kids for 2 years about electric theory, current, charge, resistance, and now we had 2.5 weeks after the AP exam. I wanted to put it to use. So actually having them apply theory to what they use every day to plug in all their fancy devices and charge and turn on lights. Give you a little bit of background about the AP Physics students. This is the second year physics course, so they've had all of the theory twice. And most of these students have not taken any Department 1 classes. That would be the Woods, Autos, Graphics, the real hands-on classes, the ones that you would learn where all of this is very applicable. And since all of these students are AP science students, they have had very controlled science labs in the past. So this was something very new to them because they had to do everything themselves. Everything was off of schematic pictures and they had to start from scratch. My expectations of the students were, one, that they apply what they've learned, be able to explain what they learned to me while they were doing it, while they're building these things, but also to have a simple skill, which is, how to change a switch, how to change an outlet, how to not just change a light bulb, but change the whole fixture if they need it, and teach them how all of the physics that they've learned is actually applied into real, everyday, hands-on things in the house. Okay? So one of the focuses throughout this whole week, 2 weeks that we did this, was one, electrical safety, first and foremost. We have a plug, and it goes right into the outlet, and there's 2 bare wires. So we talked about fuses and circuit breakers and the importance of making sure everyone understood what could possibly happen, but what also all the safety features in a house were. So we went through the house completely before we even started this, talking about safety measures. After that, it was all hands-on experience, from wiring in series and parallel to learning about light bulb current, resistance, power usage, what items in their house use more power, which ones cost more to run. Amazingly, your toaster and your hair dryer are probably some of the most expensive things in your house to run. Okay? And then they built from the boxes common household circuits, like a switch that controls a light bulb, 3-way switches, so a light that's controlled by 2 switches on a hallway or stairwell. We did things like 4-way switches, which if you have a house that has a light that's controlled by 3 or more switches, which that is the wiring nightmare. Even in a little box like this, that took about a day for them to figure out the entire wiring system of that. And then we included fun things like doorbells, motion sensors, the outlet that's controlled by the switch. You have the lamp that you plug in, you turn the switch on, the lamp goes on through the outlet. So they learned all about the different basic wiring systems in the house. All right. So why did I write this up as a grant? Well, the foundation's 3 criteria, are, is it student-centered? This whole project was focused towards them to enhance what they've already learned for 2 years. Taking an AP science class with physics, there's so much material, we can't focus so much on the applied part of it rather than the theory part of it. But we had 2 weeks. This is a great time for them to apply what they've learned. It's all them building it. So they are 100% engaged. If they missed school, they could come in and just work in the back, and they would have to still really build these wiring, wire nuts. Everything had to be built by hand. And they had to take it down every time. So they put it together, take it apart every day. So they got a really good experience in using their hands to build something that works. And then the creativity part of it. I can't say this was my idea. I actually borrowed or got the idea from a friend of mine who teaches physics at Glenbard North, who started doing this with his physics classes after the AP test. And it just amazed me when he told me how much they loved it. And I'm like, this is great. This is so much better than, trying to come up with new ways to show them physics where they can be doing it themselves. So what did the students think? I have 2 quotes on here. I asked the kids to give me some comments that they did. Before I started doing this, I did preface with the fact that all of this was possible because of the District 128 Foundation for Learning, and that they provided the funds so I can go out and build these things and get all the equipment for it. So when I asked them to write up some comments, this is what some of them had, 2 of them had to say. Moya Chen, who currently goes to Caltech, said the following. All of the experiences in the school, the circuit project has probably been one of the most direct applicable. It's something simple and useful. By exposing us to household electronics, Ravenscraft has not only taught us how to fix common problems, but also build our confidence in our ability to use our hands. All right. And then Mark Medor said, the District 128 Learning Foundation is awesome. I'm glad they provided opportunities for us to be engaged in hands-on activities. So that was just 2 of the comments that they gave, and again, these I told them where the funds came from, and the second question was the second quote was unprompted. That's what he wrote. I swear. So I just have some pictures, and I can kind of just show you and talk you through it. This is just one of the kids wiring the boxes. They're always working in pairs usually. If their partners were there, sometimes they got to use the box by themselves. Just kind of working in the lab. This was one of the 4-way switches. You kind of see the wires that are coming out. There's the blue little circle thing. That's the fuse. That is the safety precaution we do. If for some reason any of the wires were to accidentally come undone, the fuse was there, and it happened, was there to make sure it shut down the whole box. So the second safety measure was the fuse, and that worked very well. This is Mike Glover and, oh man, well, and there is a couple of kids working. So these are just some pictures. Now, Mr. Rush, the other physics teacher, and I watched this project evolve, watch how much our kids love doing this. So we had the grand idea of expanding this to our regular curriculum. So we changed what we did this year to include a week of this. But with that said, we needed to outfit a class of 24 versus a class of 12, because I have about 12 to 16 kids in my AP class every year. So we needed 6 more of these boxes. We got, a lot of the material came out. We bought more for the wood, more for the boxes, but we needed more tools. We needed more tools. We needed more supplies. So Mr. Rush, Jason, decided, and I don't know why he didn't think of this earlier, but one of his best friends growing up is the vice president of Klein Tools. And he put in a call, and before we know it, Klein Tools has decided to donate 12 fully equipped electrician bags to the school. And each bag contained about $400 of tools. So it was really good. We had our boxes. Now we had 12 more sets of tools. And this is a picture of us with Klein, with me. Mr. Rush is the one in the middle. Mr. Walgren's the one on the far. I don't know. I'm looking at the picture the other way. The other one away from me. And the gentleman holding the Klein Tools, that's Chris Vanzana, who is the vice president of Klein Tools. And he came and donated, and it's a wonderful thing. And all my kids got we just finished it this past week, and I'm glad it's over because it was crazy in the lab, but they loved it. They were very, very sad that we were done because they wanted to keep going. We didn't get through what we needed in terms of what we could have done, but we took a lot of time to begin with that. I want to thank, of course, the District 128 Foundation, because if it wasn't for the initial purchase of for the equipment for the grant, we would have never realized how awesome this was and have incorporated into the regular physics curriculum. So this is definitely a lifelong skill that every physics student is going to enjoy now for my tenure here at Vernon Hills. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh, for bringing your grant to life. It really is inspiring to hear how you have brought physics to all these students in a hands-on way and are making a difference in their learning experience. And the fact that the Innovation Grant has now blossomed and will impact even more students, I think is wonderful as well. So thank you for sharing your story. It's now my pleasure to introduce Ting Zhao, who received a grant this year for iPads for Chinese classes at both the Vernon Hills and the Liberty Bills High School. So I'll turn it over to Ting. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I think everybody at some point of your life experienced that somehow your dream come true. To me, there are several times happened. When I first got into college, when I got married, and when I got my American visa, and then I first joined District 128. My dad is also a teacher, and right now our Chinese programs having a pen pal program with their high school. And I often describe, well, the high school I'm working at right now, it's like the ones in the movie. They look so beautiful. They have huge libraries. My parents are very proud of me. And on top of all this, this year we just got the grant for the iPad. For somebody who grew up poor, never would ever imagine teaching with tools that is so helpful. This is a screen of the iPad we're using right now. The reason we got iPad, honestly, was for one major reason. Is because Chinese has characters. For any language learning, we have reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Writing is the most impossible part. First of all, in my classroom, you will hear students constantly ask me, Miss Zhao, how do you draw that character? And I have to say, we're not drawing, we're writing. And to them, it doesn't make a difference because they think, well, as long as I can make the stroke combination all together, what's the difference? You can recognize it. The difference is if you're only learning 20, 30 characters, you can remember them as individual characters, individual pictures. But if you're learning 1,000, 2,000 words, they are eventually all going to be some kind of line pictures. You will get confused. I don't know how to write all Chinese characters, but because I was trained to write each step, each vertical in a specific way. Right now, if you throw me any characters, I don't have to think about it. I know how to write it. I know what the step follows next. But it's to human nature, everybody wants to take the easy way. Oh, I like to write it from bottom to top. I like to write it from left to right. But you need to know how important, and it is very difficult for me to stress it. But our iPad made it a lot easier. This is one of the tryout apps we have. See, this is a picture of this girl writing this character. When you see the orange part, that means she's doing it right. That's the first step you're doing. And when you see the picture on your right, it has a gigantic right circle. It's telling you, no, that's the wrong step. You're not getting the point. With the combination of the music and everybody looking at them, because we are putting this on big screen, they understand, oh Lord, yeah, I really need to do this. I really need to do this right. Otherwise, I'm losing points for my whole team. I'm not going to get it. So that was the original reason why I think it's so important to have the iPad. And my lab teachers are really, really helpful from both schools. They helped me discover other apps. For instance, this is the Chinese Pot. This one is a free app. Inside, it has many courses. It's really good for our students because they only have me as a Chinese teacher. I can only talk so much, and they only hear my voice. Sometimes they can understand what I'm saying. You change a voice, it sounds like Japanese to them. So this is what we do. We use same kind of content. It's like in English. I like to say nice to meet you. Someone else likes to say glad to meet you. When kids listen to this app has listening, reading. When they listen to it, when they read it, it really expands them how to use the language. Chinese, I often tell my students, we are lazy people. We created the characters, but we don't want to create a single character for everything. So we like to combine characters to make a phrase to express things. So here, they actually got to learn and listen and read how using the same character combined with a different character, you can all of a sudden say 10 things rather than that just 2 things. And then we have the grammar. Right now, we are not using this grammar. We are going to try this next year just only because we have the iPad for 2 months. We're still excited to try out other apps, and the grammar at the beginning level of Chinese is not too difficult, but this is what we're going to do in the future. And a dictionary. This is a very helpful tool. We put students in groups. I give them pictures so they can describe things, and occasionally they will definitely run into things they cannot say. To have the iPad there really helps to have kids who like to work independently to look for the dictionary, so I can spend time with the students who needs one-on-one help or who feels more comfortable working with the teacher. And this is one of the students' favorite apps. It's called Mind Snacks, and according to the name, you know, it's a fun app. It has a vocabulary game in there. And here, on your left-hand side, that's a vocabulary recognition. Those characters, what do they mean? They have a time limit. If you can see, there is an orange fish in the blue tank. They need to choose the right meaning within a certain amount of time. If they don't, the fish dies. Yeah, and that kind of excitement really keeps them focused. And on your left-hand side, it's also from the same app. In this activity, this game, is if the combination is correct. If it's correct, you let down, you get all these African animals survive, you import them to America. If you don't find the wrong combination, then you lose one of those precious animals. Yeah, so definitely those apps, I don't know who thought of this, but it really helps with teaching. And I want you to say, this is how we share in the classroom. One student's using the iPad under the document camera, the rest of the class staring at it. They are excited. They want to help. And it really helps them to learn vocabularies, giving directions. They have to say, 上面, 上面 is the top one. 下面, 下面 is the bottom one. 左面, 左面 is the left one. 右面, 右面 it's the right one. In this way, they have learned so many directions, vocabularies. They also have practiced how to pick out the character combinations. Really makes my classroom so much exciting. Every time, if I feel like the students are done, maybe they had too much sports yesterday, which in China we really get a little sport. So I can tell they're tired. We'll say, okay, let's do an iPad activity. All of a sudden they're awake. So I have a short video to show to everyone. That is our in-classroom action. At the end of the video is one app I have mentioned. Our lab teachers helped me to find that out. It's a recording app. You say Chinese in there, and then it will tap out the characters. So this way, the students knows how well they're pronouncing. So please take a look at our videos. Wrong step. Character comes out on the screen. Oh, no. That was me because that was closer to the iPad. We almost use our iPad every day, but it's rather difficult for me to document them. So I don't have a lot of video, a lot of pictures, but you're welcome to drop by in my class. It's usually at the end of the class. I pull out the iPad, then we practice. Thank you so much. I want to thank to District 128 Foundation to make my class come true, and to have all my kids paying attention to Chinese. And I also want to let you know our district is also famous in China now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ting Ting. It's very, very interesting. And I have to say, on behalf of the other board members I'm sitting with, we're just so excited about how our funds are being used. It really just makes it so worthwhile what we're doing, and we just want to do more of it. So we hope you continue to support us. As I said before, we're going to have a little advertisement for our next two events. Mary Toderick, the Director of Public Relations, couldn't be here today. She was going to tell us a little bit about the upcoming 5K run walk. It's going to be held Memorial Day weekend on the Monday again at Old School Forest Preserve. That's May 28th. And if you're not a runner, we certainly had a lot of walkers last year too. It was a great day to be out in the morning. Hope you consider joining us, or maybe you'd like to be a volunteer for that event. You can sign up on our website. It directs you how to do it, and it's just a great event, and bring your families, and hopefully you'll be able to attend. We also have a second event, as I said, this year. It's going to be our fall social event, and Martha Watt is going to tell us a little bit about that.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Martha Watt. It's pleasure to be here today in District 128 Foundation Board, and it's our pleasure to announce our first social fundraiser this fall. So everybody put on your calendar Friday, November 9th at Cafe Pyrenees, and we're excited that Cafe Pyrenees is very supportive of education, and they are providing us the facility as well as an innovative wine tasting tour around the world. So more details to come, but put that on your calendar. We could certainly use volunteers. Anybody that likes to play in events and or has raffle experience, we could use your help. And come to me or any of the board members, as well as more information will be on our website. So we hope you can join us on November 9th. Is that it? Okay, thanks everybody for a wonderful morning. Or okay, good. So it's my pleasure to introduce Annie.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Martha. Well, you can see definitely how the teachers are using the tools that they're receiving to enhance and enrich education for kids. And every year as we see these projects and we go through the presentations, it's absolutely amazing the creativity that our staff has at both the buildings. And it makes you want to go back to high school, really, when you see what's going on in high school now. How many of you did in a foreign language class what Ting Ting is doing in her class? How many of you did in a physics class what Josh is doing in his physics class? It's pretty amazing stuff. So it's very, very exciting. And to the point, there's a reason that we're able to do those things, and that's because we have people that contribute to the foundation. And today we want to recognize our donors who have donated $500 or more to the foundation in the past year, and then we'd also like to recognize our donors who were involved with us in the 5K Lace Up for Learning run. So first we're going to do plaques for our donors that donated $500 or more, and he's going to hand me the plaque so I can read the name, and these are really pretty neat plaques.
I thought you could see them.
So I could have seen them 5 years ago, but not at my age now. So Cheryl, stop laughing, okay? All right, the first we want to recognize first today Dr. Dave Clough and his wife Donna for their donation. Dave, would you please come forward? You're fine. Judy, you're fine, seriously. Okay, our next recognition goes to Dr. Al Fleming and his wife Angela Latham for their donation. Al? Okay, those of you that are following, you kind of see what the drill is now, so you have to stay, get your picture taken. Okay, we'd like to next recognize Brian Kelly, Athletic Director at LHS. Brian? We're not sure the Kramers are here today, but we do want to recognize the Kramer family. I don't think they're here, so let's give them a round of applause. And Dr. Buzz Perry, former foundation trustee, as well as longtime district director of community education and grants. Buzz? And Ms. Judy Sugarman. Judy has played the most roles of anybody in the room today and probably in the district, and that has certainly been to the benefit of LHS, Vernon Hills, and the district over the years. So, Judy, we just appreciate everything about you. Next, Bill and Sue Ellen Skeens, and I saw Bill walk in the back. There he is. Okay, Bill, glad you made it today. And the last one, if you really want to see this award presented, then we'll go over and have lunch here together, but goes to a corporate partner, Tom and Eddie's. They couldn't be here this morning, but, you know, they've always invited us to lunch, so we could just go over there as a group today, and that would be great. But Tom and Eddie's actually did a matching program for us that many of you are aware of at the beginning of the year. I think it was the first week that they were open. Anybody that went in and identified themselves as District 128 and part of their opening day ceremonies there, they gave a donation back on our behalf, and it was significant. So we really appreciate their continued support. And that's what that looks like. And here's the picture of Tom and Eddie's right here. Thanks. All right, now we'd like to recognize our partners in the 5K run that we had last year. And again, that was unbelievably successful for our first shot out of the box. You know, Aunt Simone and Mary, the folks that worked on that, Jason, the whole crew, just amazing. So we're looking very, very much looking forward to that again. So first, we'd like to recognize Axiom Marketing. So I think Marty's here today. Marty, thank you. Here, why don't you turn around, get a picture with Ann? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Thanks, Marty. And Costco, I don't think there's anybody here from Costco today. John and Loran Ellenbach. William Frick and Company. Golden Legs Running. Graham Enterprise Incorporated. Harris Bank. Aaron Hebeln. Jewel Foods. Kackenmaster and Associates. Canals Auto Group. L. Doug Productions. We know that person. Lake Forest Graduate School of Management. Okay. Mickey Fens. Miller Monument Company. Richard Morass. Murphy Ambulance. Prairie City Bakery. Bill, why don't you come up and take this as well? Bill owns Prairie City Bakery. Runner's Edge. Rust-Oleum.
I think we have somebody here.
Oh, great. Yay. And as many of you know, particularly in the Vernon Hills community, Rust-Oleum has been an amazing corporate partner of ours over the years. So we, again, appreciate your support of the both the high schools and the district. Thanks. Sandler O'Neill and Partners. Signs Now. Law Offices of Stephen Simonian. Star Auto Authority. State Representative Ed Sullivan, Jr. Sunset Foods. Sweet Pea Design. Vernon Hills Bank and Trust. Wined and Dined. And Export Business. How about a big round of applause for everyone? Well, let's finish where we started today. In my earlier comments to you, we have what we believe is the best high school district in the country and 2 world-class high schools. And we have the best district and 2 world-class high schools because we have community support from people just like you and your other friends and neighbors who support us in many, many ways, including the foundation. And we, as Dave and I have often talked over the years, we really have the perfect formula for high-quality schools in this area. And we're really blessed as a result. And we want to thank you very much for that continued support, because we can only be outstanding if you partner with us to be outstanding. And the foundation is just one more very, very important example of that. So thank you very much for everything that you do for us. Thank you for coming this morning, and have a great day today.